Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth, and this is the 505 Sports Venture Foundation program. We come to you semi-regularly from the offices of ProView Sports Network here on Central Avenue in beautiful downtown Albuquerque. I want to thank Steve Davis, who gives us this opportunity to come to you to talk what's happening in athletics at UNM, vis-a-vis revenue share, name, image, and likeness, the state of New Mexico, and anything else that's relevant to athletics here in Albuquerque. I also want to thank my guy Adrian. He's our producer. He makes this thing happen every week. He turns the knobs and presses the buttons. He's got the Dodger hat on again. It's getting a little boring. Okay, they're good. Yankees got one win last week in the Bronx, but it's come on, Dodger fans, and stop telling me they're the greatest thing from LA. If the Dodgers are from LA, I'm from Albuquerque. So we're gonna have a special guest. We're in the dog days of summer here in Albuquerque. Summer school's on. There are basically no athletes in town, but we're just around the corner from our one of our favorite sports, UNM football. And it's hard to imagine the excitement. It's not hard to imagine it. We have it, but it's unprecedented. Optimism, excitement, Lobo football, Jason Eck, and here we go. So I want you to stay with us. We're going to kind of sell you some stuff for a minute or two, and we're going to come back with our special guest, and we're a good friend of the program, and we're going to talk Lobo football. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth, 505 Sports Venture Foundation program, and we never have enough time because I go off on a tangent, but I want to introduce a good friend of the program, the beat writer for Lobo football here at the Journal, Sean Reeder. Sean, good to see you.
Kurt, always a pleasure, man.
All right, so we're really super excited. Like I said in the opening, like Lobo football, whoa, like the expectations are high for, I think, really two reasons. One, we got a lot of, from a winning program, we got a lot of returnees, and apparently some potential impact transfers. And the other thing is Jason A. I mean, we just came back last week or a week before media days out in Vegas. I must have seen 10 different internet, social media interviews with the guy in his suit, which is always cracks me up. So give us a little bit of info on what you're thinking and what the impact of Coach Eck has been here.
No, I think it's been absolutely tremendous. I mean, you can point to last season, the 9-4 record, obviously, the best for a first season coach, and I think if not in a long, long time, probably ever. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head, ironically. And just the level of football that they played, the level they competed to, and all that as well. Of course, the Michigan game and then the UCLA game, absolutely blowing out UCLA in the Rose Bowl. And it wasn't a good UCLA team, but that was a P4 roster and funded as such. So I think and I think there's that element too, and then I think there's the element where I've said it a million times. I think probably more than any other coach I've ever been around and covered, I think he's done a great deal of meshing. Hey, we win games, we're successful on the field. We also bond with the community and engage the community as well. I think UNM has seen coaches who have won on the field, but maybe not engaged the community as much. And I think there's coaches that have engaged the community, but they haven't won as much as they might have liked. And I think Eck has been kind of the perfect mix of both.
Well, I've been here now, it's 53 years watching Lobo football. And I've never seen anyone connect with the community like Eck. Because he's embraced the New Mexico stuff. He loves to talk about that. And I think one of the reasons it's exciting, there's a genuineness of the blue-collar Midwestern stuff that meshes with the grit and the blue collar in New Mexico. And I think it comes across as so genuine. I've been lucky to get to know him, in a business sense and planning and contracts, and that's who he is. But I think one of the things that's different in my 53 years and in recent times is this access to the internet and his personality that comes across. So he's great as a journalist. How do you find him?
No, I think he's great to cover. I think the number one thing that you always want out of any coach or any player is you don't want some facade. You want them to be as authentic as possible. You want them to have their whole personality out there. And I think he does a really good job of just being himself. And I never feel talking to him or him in a press conference that he is holding much back. I don't mean that he's ranting and raving and just spewing whatever. I just think he's giving clear answers on, hey, this is what I think, this is how I feel, and it's unvarnished.
Well, that just leads me to something that I hadn't thought of till you just said that. I get to attend the first team meetings, which your first team is a football-centric or just unique football booster group, where there's you pay a little extra money above the Lobo Club, and one of the things he does is he has weekly meetings during the season.
Yeah.
Some of them are live, some of them are Zoom. Every one I've been to, he's given us a play that he's going to run. It's usually a trick play, and he said, don't tell anybody, we're going to do this. Or if it's not a trick play, it's an emphasis. You are going to see, for example, he didn't do this, but you're going to see Scottree Humphrey throw a pass, on an option. He'll tell us that. So, yeah, he's genuine, he's great. He's got a great partner. And she's out there in the community. You've got shots of them in the pool. You've got shots of them at vacation. And to me, it's just super great. And again, New Mexico, you got to take advantage of it. Let's keep supporting this guy. All right. So we were just trying to do the math. September 5th,
Central Michigan. Home opener. Season opener.
So we've got 31 days in August, 5 days in September. That's 36. Something like 8 or 9 days. We're 45 days away from Lobo football.
Unbelievable. I can't believe it's that close and also that far away.
Yeah, well, you guys like you who live it and work it, and guys like me who sweat it, it's exciting, but that countdown is like, oh, come on, Because, all right, but let's then talk about it. Before we go back to Vegas, let's talk before the break. They're off now. No one's here.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this called? Now in August it's called
Fall Camp.
Fall camp.
Yep.
We did summer camp. Starts what day?
August 5th.
Okay. So what does that look like? It's not the workouts change from day to day. No, they can't go full pads every day.
No, they have an ease-in period. I think it's, oh my gosh, I want to say it's probably 3 practices. if I remember correctly. I could be wrong because they might have changed it in like shells and all that and helmets, and then they get into full pads. I think from what I've seen, they're going to do like the first 3 days in shells and helmets and all that, and then they get into full pads, and then they keep going. I forget the exact number of practices they have.
Right.
I believe it's around 20. They've also changed some of these rules, so I need to kind of study the schedule a little bit more, but yeah.
Well, they'll let you know. And Lobo fans, check the social media. Check golobos.com. There will be events, not only a couple of scrimmages, there will be public practices where if you want to go watch, it's kind of interesting because there's moving parts. There's teams over here. These guys are doing that. It's not like
tackling
there's always
circuits.
Yeah. And it's a little hard to follow, but it's good fun. So check that out. All right. So we've got the fall camp, and boom, right? That's Labor Day weekend, Central Michigan. Do you know anything about that team?
I don't know a ton about CMU right now. I do know from what I saw last year that they were really, really competitive, really, really rugged in a lot of respects. Their head coach used to coach at Army. I believe he was the O-line coach there, if I remember correctly. I thought they put up a good showing against Michigan when I watched that year, and the final score was like 45-7 or whatever. Right. But they competed. From what I saw, they didn't get absolutely blown off the ball. And then, of course, last year San Jose State was a really big disappointment. I thought they were going to be a team kind of in the mix to maybe go to the Mountain West Championship, and CMU was a big part of that. They came right in, and they kind of, they eked out like a 16-14 win. So I got to study this CMU team a little bit more.
I put you on the spot a little early. All right, we're going to take our first break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about Mountain West media, preseason teams, all that good stuff. Stay with us.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
There isn't. Anyway, we're back. I'm Kurt Ross. Sean's here from the Journal. And by the way, buy the Journal. Great sports section. I look forward to it. I get it delivered. I'm old school. Buy the paper. It's a great deal. You can get it online if you want to read it on your phone. I don't know where you think you're going to get Lobo Sports from unless you get it in the Journal. And if you don't subscribe, then the Journal, papers disappear. So Albuquerque Journal, buy it. All right.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you.
I can't believe people. It should be free. What, free? So anyway, buy the paper. We were at Vegas Media Days. It's a couple of days, and it looks like a real circus. I've never attended. Every team gets a few minutes or an hour on the Mountain West and the interviews, and there's a lot of. It's kind of a cool event.
It is a good event, and it's hugely valuable for what I do because you get one day where you have 4 players from each team, and they're available for about an hour and a half and all that in different media sessions, and then the next day you get all 10 head coaches, and you get to chat with all of them. It is very, very valuable in terms of getting that one-on-one time at this time of year with Jason Eck, really, really nice, but also Jeff Choate at Nevada and Scotty Walden at UTEP, and getting story ideas, and hey, I didn't know about this and all that as well. So very, very good event. A little bit of a circus sometimes.
Yeah,
depends. It depends on the year, but yeah.
Well, we were excited as Lobo fans because they decided, and I think it was a postseason kind of thing, not to do the preseason rankings.
Yeah, no predicted order of finish.
Well, apparently, and I didn't think of this, and I should have because I rant out of it in basketball. They give these power ratings, and they change the system forever, and it's a new name or something else, and it doesn't count this thing and that. But they start teams with a completely subjective rating. Yeah. And so they start the P4 teams with these high ratings, and they play each other. And like in basketball, it's a quad one loss. And it's not that, well, you pick the teams there from the start. So I think there was some feeling that maybe the Lobos kind of got screwed by that last year in that tiebreaker at the end of the year.
There was something that, Gloria Navarez, the Mountain West Commissioner, in her opening address kind of talked a little bit about that and the idea of, I believe it was the great Ed Graney with the Las Vegas Review-Journal that asked that question. And she said, why is there no predicted order of finish? And she said, look, we compared it to what New Mexico went through, to what Arizona State went through, in 2024, I believe.
That's correct.
Where they won the Big 12, but they were picked to finish last in the Big 12 previously, and that, they had that worst to first deal. And, they didn't get the college football playoff seeding that they kind of hoped. A little bit ironic in that situation because the team that was over Arizona State was Boise State that year, which was a Mountain West team at the time. So I was a little bit interested in that. But and they felt, New Mexico was left out of the Mountain West championship game because of the the four computer-based metrics. Metrics, not the Massey rating, but like Bill Connolly's SP Plus and all that as well. And at the end of the day, New Mexico, without any legitimate real data, just the best data that these systems could pull. These ratings could pull, started very, very low, as you were going to expect. They turned over the whole roster, new coaching staff and all that as well, and they won 9 games. They beat a P4 team. They competed against another P4 team. They beat a team that played in the Mountain West title game, but they just couldn't climb up into one of those 2 spots. And that's something I think it's probably a mix of that, even though, that trepidation, that's going to happen again, even though you don't like the ratings, you're the league, you can change the ratings.
Right.
And I think there probably was a little bit of grumbling from coaches in the way that you had seen from the Big 12. When they got rid of their preseason pull up to the Arizona State thing, all the coaches loved it. They thought it was, we don't need that. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, UNM would have been in it if they beat San Jose State. So, it is what it is.
That's exactly correct. Anyway, all right, so interesting, a couple in, some new teams, all right, and that's kind of interesting to get used to as a fan. But they picked basically first team, second team, third team Mountain West.
Yeah.
Lobos did well.
Lobos did very well. 5 honorees. Linebacker Jack Stanek, who is the preseason Defensive Player of the Year after being the Mountain West Co-Defensive Player of the Year last year. Not a huge surprise there. I mean, he is the best linebacker in the league, but I think by a considerable margin. Defensive lineman Brian Booker. Offensive lineman Malik Alian.
Interesting. Frenchman.
The Frenchman, yes. He was. We talked to him the day after France lost in the World Cup semifinals, so he was a little devastated. And then, oh my gosh,
tight end,
Cade Keefe. Thank you. You're helping the beat writer get over the finish line on this.
That's tough. I put you on the spot. We didn't talk about it.
And then, oh my gosh, who's the 5th? Troy O'Meary, UNLV receiver,
which is interesting because he hasn't played.
Yeah, he hasn't taken a snap at UNM yet. Eck did say he's supposed to be good to go for fall camp, but of course, UNLV transfer receiver. 3rd on the team in receptions last year. Pretty much, I mean...
Looks like an NFL guy, though.
Yeah.
Physically, he's the big receiver, prototypical
The ex-receiver, former 4-star recruit, was at Texas and Arizona State, right. So he is expected to, if he's healthy, to be that guy.
Right. So, no, good and did you have... We got a minute before the next break. Any new personalities, coaches... you found interesting?
Well, we had known, and I had known about, Scotty Walden at UTEP being a guy with a lot of energy, very enthusiastic. He was taking his shirt off in parking lots before they even played a game. And I enjoyed talking to him. I thought he was quite candid. I thought he gave pretty good answers. I'm curious to see how UTEP performs this year. I thought Tim Polasek, too, the head coach of North Dakota State, was pretty interesting as well. Just in the sense that, I felt that there was a lot of people asking the questions of, hey, how good do you think North Dakota State's going to be this year? Do you think they can contend? And I think they're going to be in a good position this year. I think the schedule kind of screwed them a little bit.
Right.
But Polzek was the guy getting up and saying, no, we have to prove we can win FBS games on a week-to-week basis. He's like, we've done it before, but it was a one-off thing.
Right.
So.
And it's a big deal tends to be a big deal for those teams when they step up a division. All right, well, we're going to get to a couple of the teams. We're going to talk about what we think is going to happen and, of course, our Lobo. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. I'm here with Sean R. from the Albuquerque Journal, and because of my poor planning, we've got the 7 fastest minutes in interview time here to talk about.
We're gonna bang it through. We're gonna keep going.
All right. So we talked off camera. We talked about the top 3, and I think we agree on UNM, UNLV, and Hawaii.
Absolutely. Yep.
And we also like the wild card, as you talked about at the end of the last segment, ND State.
ND State.
Like you mentioned, and we also talked about it. They've got the 3 top teams on the road. The schedule wasn't good to them.
They're playing New Mexico on the road, I think Hawaii on the road after that, and then UNLV on the road in a 5-week span. The real, hey, welcome to the Mountain West. We're glad to have you. Go play our best teams.
Well, they'll find out. They'll find out.
Yeah.
And for those who don't follow or know about North Dakota State, they play in a very cool indoor.
The Fargo Dome.
The dome. It's a little dome, and they don't lose there.
They don't, no. I mean, I talked to, Jason Eck about that, and he said he thought, Boise last year was probably the toughest place to play in the conference. Of course, they're gone for other schools. Now he feels, instantaneously, just by being part of the league, the Fargo Dome is the toughest place to play because that noise just comes right on top of you.
They're going to have a crowd and noise. I mean, Hawaii, people may show up, depends on what else is going on that day. UNLV, unfortunately for them, they can draw 25,000 people, and it seems empty.
Exactly, yeah. That is probably the one negative for them playing in Allegiant.
So, all right, you think those... Now, we were talking about a good friend of mine and my partner, Nancy's, our quarterback out at Hawaii, who's now highly touted. Tell us about him.
Mike Aliato. Lobo fans watching this, I think you will know the name Mike Aliato. Had his first career start, final game of 2024. Just shredded UNM. They had a chance to go to a bowl, ended up finishing 5-7, and that was kind of the moment where Aliato became the guy. for Hawaii. Had a fantastic season last year, even as he battled, I believe, an ankle injury, and I think he had a shoulder injury as well too.
He's a small guy.
He got
banged up.
He's a tough guy, and but no, I mean, he absolutely is perfect for that. That brand of the run and shoot that Timmy Chang is running over there. Perfect for it. He has, in my opinion, probably the best returning receiver in the league, and Pofuli Ashlock.
Oh, good.
I think my main question though is just last year, dealing with all these injuries, they brought some guys in on the O-line. Can they keep him more upright?
Okay. Interesting. All right, and UNLV?
UNLV, I think my thing with UNLV is that I think they're going to be perfectly fine with Jackson Arnold coming in from Auburn. Yeah, Oklahoma, then Auburn, then UNLV. I had to get that straight in my head.
There's still one more possibility.
I think he's a better fit for this offense than whatever Hugh Freeze was running last year in Auburn. And I think Mullen is a really, really good coach to that end. I will miss Anthony Colandrea's just manic improvising, just kind of take the snap and do whatever. And no, they have to me the best running back in the league in Jayden Thomas. I like what they have in the O-line, and I think the defense is going to be better. But probably my main question with UNLV and partially why I ended up picking UNM over UNLV is that for me, I look at UNM's defense and I'm like, okay. They already have a lot of key starters back. They probably have the best defensive player in the league back. For UNLV, you're turning things over again in that roster, and there's a little bit more continuity. You have guys like Jake Pope in the secondary who've been there and played snaps, but I just don't know. I think they'll be better on defense. I just don't know how much of a leap they're going to make, and that's a bit of the reason why I think I've leaned more towards UNM. But I think it's close between the two.
Good point. Hey, UNM hosts UNLV. Go buy your season tickets. They're very reasonable price-wise. All right, so we've got 3 minutes left. What's going on with the Lobo quarterback?
All indications. You're talking about Jack Lane, of course. Who,
start with Jack.
Played really the final 2/3 of the season with a torn tendon in his elbow. He had an elbow issue in the spring last year. And they just sat him out. He didn't require surgery and all that. And, seemed like it was pretty good, of course, during fall camp. And, of course, he won the starting job over James Loeb's team. But, tore his tendon, warm-ups before the UCLA game. UNM did not know about it. He did not know it. He gutted through it, played through it, and ended up getting that repaired. Did not play this spring, of course, rehabbing from all that. And I shouldn't say didn't play. He was out of the practice field. He was running. He was throwing with his left hand. He wasn't throwing with his right hand. But all indications from Eck and Lane at media days is that he's good to go.
Well, you could see it. We weren't aware of it. We knew he had trouble in the spring, but there were a few times at the end of the season where the ball just left his hand, and what is that?
There was a pass in the Rate Bowl against Minnesota where it was their side of the field, and his back is to us in the press box, and he released it, and I've never seen a ball trajectory like that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But he said he's healthy.
So now we've gone from having no roster the year before to a solid returning crew. One of the factors, I want to know what you think about it, his statistics were disappointing last year. He was given the number one job, and at the end of the year, he hardly played. Scottree Humphrey. What's going on there?
Yeah. All indications, from Eck talking at media days, is that he feels, that Humphrey's kind of the lead back. He's the number one guy. I don't think they'll ever run this offense where they just have one guy who's a true bell cow. I think they always want to divvy things out, and I think it's a smart move in a lot of respects. But unless one guy is playing that much better than the others,
which never happens.
But no, Scottree is the lead back. I think he's going to enter and leave fall camp as such. I do think, though, that and X said this. Cameron Matthews, the young transfer from Memphis, who had an awesome spring game. If you were there, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be right on his heels. And then Kiefer Sibley, probably the third in that room. Day Buchanan and Deshaun Buchanan is he's probably going to miss a game after he suffered a lower body injury during the spring. So we'll see.
All right. So and we've got a pretty solid defense. So how optimistic we should be? We're going to make a run at this title.
I think UNM is absolutely going to make a run, and I think the way that I am kind of looking at it is that I think it would be a disappointing season if they did not make the Mountain West Championship. I think it's still in the context of UNM football. I think them playing in a conference championship, UNM football forever. I don't think them playing in a conference championship and not winning it should be a disappointment in a lot of respects, in my opinion. It might feel like such because the CFP, berth might be on the line and all that, but. No, I think it is conference championship game appearance or bust.
CFP. Whoa, Lobos. All right. Sean,
Crazy to think. Crazy
thanks
to
for
think.
being here. Again, guys, thanks for being with us. 505sports.org. Get on board. Help us out. We're still in the fight. Every penny that goes to UNM helps. We do a lot of the lifting for UNM. Stick with us. We'll be back in a week, maybe 2, with some more UNM stuff. Lots to talk about next time, so thanks for being with us.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.